Now, our first interview I'm going to do today, I'm very excited about it. His name is William Francis Ganong, 1864 to 1941. Now, to say what his occupation was would probably take longer than we have here, because he's a true Renaissance man, a man who did many, many things. So let's see if we can find him and have a little conversation. Well, there he is now.
Good day, Reed.
Welcome, Mr. Ganong. It's really good to have you here.
Oh, pleasure to be here. Welcome visitors to the Charlotte County community.
You. Now, as I said, your resume is long and impressive.
Likely.
So tell me just what motivated you to, what was your thirst for knowledge? Where did it come from?
Oh, a long time I've been in the woods surveying Charlotte County and a lot of New Brunswick. From the age of 7, when my parents moved us to St. Stephen. I was born in St. John. Father decided to work in New England for a while. We came back here when I was at the age of 7. My grandfather, his name also was William, took me many a trip around through the rivers, learned to canoe when we fished, and he gave me the knowledge that he had of plants and animals and the geology of New Brunswick, and that's where it all started.
So your fascination with botany started there.
Fascination with botany, yes. I always endured where plants were, what plants are available, where plants are available.
What they can be used for?
What they can be used for, how the people subsided in this community.
And of course, you were noted as a cartographer as well. Did a lot of map making.
Yes, did a lot of map making. My cartography shows a lot of different elevations. We examined lots of area in New Brunswick. We did New Brunswick as a whole. To Mount Carlton, in which we mapped extensively. And there's a good record of my work on the St. Croix, the Dochets Island in the St. Croix River.
And I'd say your maps and things, and a lot of your work is now at the New Brunswick Museum, which you were very instrumental in dealing with.
Yes, the museum gratefully accepted a lot of my material. We gave them lots of knowledge. Over my lifetime, I wrote in excess of 150 papers.
I saw that. That's amazing. And
2 of which I wrote when I was in college in Munich, Germany.
Tell me a little bit about your early life. I mean, you say growing up, you say you went with your father and doing many things, but tell me what went on from there, your education.
Education, well, by the time I was 17, my general education was by myself and friends who canoed, and we searched the province, and we had a good understanding of rivers and the riverways. We had met with a lot of people. I eventually ended up with a working knowledge of French, German, Maliseet, and Mi'kmaq languages.
I understand that. Yeah, your facility for languages is amazing, and I suppose it must have really helped when you're trying to learn about the local flora
flora and fauna of this province.
So you learned a lot from the native people.
Yes, I did. Yes, the German language, I learned it well enough that I wrote and published 2 papers.
So I understand.
In German language.
So part of your education was in German.
Germany, Munich, yes.
Munich, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And would you start out in the province? You take your
went to UNB for a few years. Went to Harvard for a little while.
Just to mention, Harvard.
Just thought I'd go down there for just a lark.
I see. Yeah.
Met a lovely lady down there by the name of Jean Murray. Last name being Carmen. She was the sister of the noted poet of New Brunswick, Bliss Carmen.
Oh.
We were married for a long time until her death. Unfortunately, we had no children. I did indeed, though, get married again to a lady by the name of Anna. Hobbit was her maiden name. We had 2 children, and they continued on in my footsteps in their own way, in their own education.
So again, not only were you were absorbing knowledge and taking it in and writing about it, but you were also teaching it to others.
Definitely, yes. Spent many an evening with villagers, people on the Acadian Peninsula, learned different languages, different ways of life, how they used the products supplied by the province, where things could be grown that were imported goods, and recorded a lot of that stuff. That's all part of the cartography that I had done, which a lot of it is noted in the Museum of New Brunswick now. Yes, we spent many a nights out with neighbors and friends and villagers.
But your last name is Ganong. So
Ganong.
So there definitely is a connection there. So tell us a little bit about your life with the Ganong Candy
After
Factory.
returning here when I was at the age of 7, my father, James, and his brother, Gilbert, developed what is now Ganong Brothers, the candy factory. A few years later, my father had knowledge of the soap business from New England, and he decided to build what was known as the St. Croix Soap Manufacturing Company. And they together run those two businesses. And of course, those gentlemen, as time goes on, they did get older and failed to run them any longer. My younger brother Edwin took over the soap factory, and my other brother Arthur went into the candy factory. And after that, there was a board of directors, and I sat on that board of directors with them for a good many years.
Were you active in there? I mean, you had so many other interests.
Very active in the candy factory, yes. Yep, a lot of decisions were made, not solely mine, but under the board of directors.
So you spent your winters probably working on papers and on the board, and summers still out in nature?
Most winters were spent in Massachusetts. I was allowed to be the professor of botany in the Smith College in Northampton, Mass. I spent, I think it was 36 years there. I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Memory's getting a little lax now.
And I believe at the end you were named Professor Emeritus.
Yes, at the end, yes. That's right.
Again, impressive.
Did well down there.
Yeah.
We started a little bit different method of teaching, in which basically students had a little more involvement in the actual gathering of information. It was about a botany class, and the gardens were designed by a Mr. Olmsted, and when I was hired, my first job was to build those gardens and complete the design.
So your teaching style was more hands-on than just lecture?
More hands-on, yes.
Yes. Perhaps a forerunner of the type of education we see more of today.
Could well be, yes it could, indeed.
Well, Mr. Ganong, it's been great. Can you, just as a final question, can you tell me, growing up in St. Stephen, how did that affect the way your life turned out?
Oh, well, growing up in St. Stephen with the rivers and the greenery and the nature of the province, my interest in cartography and botany and generalization of nature, people and the bridging of communities together, it was a great way to grow up. As I say, by the age of 17, nature had a grasp on it was my dream to be in nature, to learn what I could of nature, the geography, the geology, anything there was to know about this area.
And I'm glad that you were able to share that vast knowledge with us, and we are much the better for it today.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I'll leave you to your strolls.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Welcome one and all to the community.